Make sure to subscribe to the Volume YouTube channel so you can catch all of our shows and get what everybody wants, more of me. If Tebow had more self-awareness and understood that, leaving a sport for nearly a decade and then coming back to try a new position is really kind of silly, I wouldn't have talked about him. But he's interested sometimes in himself and his impractical dreams. Zach Wilson. You can just put down 0-4 against the Patriots and the Bills, probably 0-6 if you put in the Dolphins. When I look at Trey Lance, I see a really big, strong, talented athlete, but even with Kyle Shanahan, those weapons and that offensive line, he's not ready to play. Stories only get out when somebody wants them out. And so when the story breaks that the Patriots are unhappy with Cam, they're telling you they're tired of his shit. I know, Brown fans, look at Baker. Baker played with a lead. But at the end of that game, when Kansas City in the stadium knows Baker has to throw with 2 minutes left, that's when I think he's a fairly average quarterback. It is week 2, and Big Ben looks like something from the Jurassic era. Derek Carr was so much better than Big Ben. It was embarrassing if you're a Steeler fan. The Buccaneers just stepped into a hornet's nest, SoFi Stadium. It was deafening. I think the Rams have a lot of components that are going to challenge the Buccaneers if they met again. For the Cleveland Brown organization to go on the road, beat a pretty talented team, Minnesota, when your quarterback is god-awful, that is a stepping stone for the Cleveland Browns. He and OBJ, he and Jarvis Landry work. He and OBJ don't. I can't figure it out. It just doesn't work. Urban Meyer and John Gruden had very bad weeks. I think the Jacksonville situation is a real tinderbox. I'm going to keep my eye on that one. What I saw with those emails is a terribly insecure guy, and people that are not going to allow the NFL to run the way John sees it fit are a threat. The next 8 weeks are going to be huge for Baker Mayfield because he's playing against contemporaries. He's playing against Burrow and Justin Herbert and Kyler Murray and Lamar Jackson twice. I said it's not going to be just about wins. Does Baker look the part? He did not look the part against Kyler Murray. He looked like junior varsity. Sam Darnold had a couple of mistakes this weekend, one of them from his end zone that was simply cognitively a dumb play. You can't be in the league this long and make the throw Sam made from his end zone. If you look at who is flourishing in this league right now, it is offensive coaches who lobbied hard to their owners and GM for quarterback upgrades. Defensive coaches, Vic Fangio at Denver, Brian Flores with the Dolphins, Ron Rivera with Washington. They did not have a belief that quarterback would be essential to winning games. I mean, Denver's a wreck now. Raiders are better than we thought. Chargers are good. Kansas City's a little bit of a wreck, but they got Patrick Mahomes. I thought the Colts season rested in the balance. Carson Wentz didn't just lose that game to the Titans. He lost it like 3 different times. He's basically a more talented Sam Darnold. Aaron rambling for 18 minutes on Pat McAfee's YouTube page on his show. That's fine, but he didn't have the self-awareness to realize he's always been thin-skinned, he's always been sensitive, and you ramble for 18 minutes on something that's not about sports, and you're going to get the smoke. OBJ signed with the Rams, even though reports say the Packers were his preferred destination, and he didn't think they were all in as the Rams. But I think the Packers, A, wanted to cover their butt. Aaron Rodgers sees OBJ flourishing with another team. The Packers can say, Aaron, we made a run at him. I said this about 6 weeks ago. I said Baker's career is going to be boiled down to about a 6-7 game stretch when he plays against his peers. He was completely outdueled by Mac Jones today. I think Mac Jones and Baker are both minivans. Mac's just the deluxe version with Wi-Fi. And now we're in late November, and we're seeing key injuries. The last 2 weeks, Tom Brady struggled. Why? Doesn't have Gronk and AB. Tannehill had 4 picks. Why? He's missing Derrick Henry. This league right now has no 10s. Detroit's a 1 to a 0. The Seahawks are in a free fall. Pete Carroll's a defensive coach, and the defense in the last 4 years is getting progressively worse. In a division with 3 offensive coaches, he's out-schemed and outdated. I always thought Tua could win games, I'm very skeptical about him winning divisions and playoff games. Tua has really become a left-handed Mac Jones. Urban Meyer fired by the Jags. Too much ego, too conflict-driven, my way or the highway. It can work beautifully in college where you have so much power. Always a green light. But there's a lot of red and yellow lights in the NFL that you got to stop at, and Urban couldn't. Jimmy Garoppolo's got a great opportunity as a road dog to knock somebody off. They're going to go in as a lower NFC seed, and you and I all know they're going to give somebody fits. McCarthy and Dak are not considered the best coach or quarterback going into the NFC playoffs. In fact, many would put them 4 of 4 in terms of division winners. I guess you should always err on the side of compassion or empathy when a guy melts down. But with Antonio Brown, he's never shown contrition, and everybody keeps enabling him. He has crossed the line so many times, he's simply very hard to feel bad for. Mike Zimmer is out in Minnesota. Vic Fangio is out in Denver. Matt Nagy is out in Chicago. In the end, it's very similar on one thread. None of them have an A quarterback. Joe Judge was combative. It's another Belichick assistant that comes into an organization, tries to dictate terms, and simply doesn't have the respect or the resume to back it up. First, Jimmy G. Dude, you've been in this league long enough. On 4th and inches, he didn't have the wherewithal intellectually to wait for Trent Williams to get set. I mean, Jesus, that's high school football stuff. Secondly, I'm not exactly sure what Dak Prescott was doing when he ran the ball with no timeouts left. That made no sense at all. And again, Dak's got too many starts in this league to make that mistake. A shocking upset to the 49ers. This is on Aaron. Aaron is really into his passer rating, and he plays like it. He plays like he's protecting it. There are a lot of people in Green Bay, a lot of people in Wisconsin tired of Aaron. Hate to see him go. You know, he's such a likable guy. Tom Brady, after 22 seasons, is retiring. So Tom's always had a pretty impeccable sense of timing, from in-game to exiting New England to now in Tampa, and it's time. For all the greatness of Patrick Mahomes, he was out-dueled by Burrow. He got tight, Burrow got right, and there's your ball game. This was a really rough look for Mahomes. The Niners now, I think, move off Jimmy Garoppolo, give the reins to Trey Lance. Garoppolo will fetch something on the market. If you're the Steelers or, a Washington, you can certainly do worse. So it's Rams and the Bengals in the Super Bowl. I would guess the Rams will be about a field goal favorite in that game. I don't want to hear about any other leagues in America. The NFL has so pulled away from every other sport in America. When's the last bad football game you saw? Was it like 3 weeks ago? When's the last game that wasn't heart-stopping in the NFL? It's like 3 weeks ago.